Back here in Frisco, Texas at the Toyota Soccer Center field for MLS Next Cup. Day 3 continues, the second of our 3 games here on campus at Frisco, Texas. We're excited for this one. Should be a fun second matchup. Had a great first game here as well. Sean St. Jacques, Jamie Watson here with you. Sockers FC Chicago, LA Surf Soccer Club getting set to do battle here in game number 2. Again, Sean St. Jacques, Jamie Watson, Rodney Wallace will be patrolling the sidelines for us here in game number 2. Twitch is the place to hit us up. YouTube as well. Let us know your thoughts on the day so far, on the games as well. We had a great first game, and we're looking forward to game number 2.
Yeah, we really are. And we've got 2 really storied clubs within the U.S. soccer landscape. And so with Sockers, they've got a really good pedigree, an older group that I got a chance to watch last night play. And it's just strength to strength with each group in this. And LA Surf, they're going to have the work cut out for them tonight.
We're looking forward to it. Let's take a look at the lineups for both teams. We begin with the away lineup. Sockers FC Chicago, LA Surf Soccer Club is up first. Carlos Oliveras is the head coach, and here's how they line up. It looks like it's going to be a 4-3-3.
Yeah, and so with that, they'll try to get the wingers, Beltran and Biswas, to try to get forward, join into the attack, and help support Villa Gomez up top.
And on the other side of things, Soccer FC Chicago, similar formation, but also plenty of talent.
Yeah, and with Jančić up top, that's where they're really going to be the focal point. Rosso Lind can run off of both of the support from there, but also the support we'll get from the 3 just behind. It's a really, really enticing matchup we have here this morning.
No question about that. Let's take a look at the Adidas keys to the game as both of these 2 teams get set to do battle here in game number 2. Again, Sockers FC Chicago will be in their white uniforms with the blue trim. They're going to need to control the pace today.
Yeah, and if they can do that, then they can dictate the tempo of the game and when they go with speed or when they let the ball do the work. And for LA Surf, whenever they get into the final third, they've got to make the right decision. And that will be the difference if LA Surf want to get a win in this U17 showcase match.
Today's Soccer FC Chicago will kick us off, and they control things going from left to right. LA Surf Soccer Club are in those blues with the black shorts and black socks. First game of the day was 2-2 between Club de Foot Montreal and Empire United Soccer Academy. It's a great opener to this under-17 triple header today here in Frisco, Texas. Well, the first game got off to a very quick start. It'll be interesting to see if this game follows suit. 3 goals were scored inside the first 20 minutes of our first game today. And nearly a chance there to open the scoring as well. Took a deflection on the way through. Early set piece chance now for Sockers FC. Trying to get the jump on things. It was corner kicks that allowed Empire United to take the lead in our first game. And he's knocked it into the center of the penalty area. The heads go up, a brief skim on it, nearly directed it towards goal, but not enough power behind it. And Sockers FC will recycle. And twitch.tv/MLS is the place to go to ask us any questions, give us any thoughts or comments. We've had a hair discussion in the first game. You guys were way too kind, us here in the booth. Anything you guys want to throw our way? We've been discussing cold weather versus warm weather. And also we've been talking the beautiful game as well.
In that order. Yeah,
definitely at the end. It definitely got that way at the end. That's for sure. No, and luckily you didn't put me on the spot for a spelling bee that almost broke out in the first game as well.
Oh, look, and that's the beauty of this, right? Let's get interactive with the chat. So as much or as little input as you want to put in the chat. I don't know if it's, maybe, I don't know, John, maybe if your mom's watching, if she wants to say hello in the chat, or if my parents are, they can, anybody,
no question.
Anybody, anywhere.
We encourage it. Some of the comments in the first game you were saying might be from the Watson crew, the way they were being so nice to us.
Yeah, I mean, only people that are that nice to me are my parents. So, so let's
I might echo that actually.
Enjoy this.
End, yeah.
Yeah, right. Let's enjoy this and have some fun and watch some good games here today. This is different than most games that you'll watch, on the fact that you could be watching, streaming along YouTube and Twitch on the MLS platform or channels, excuse me, and you could have a comment, and then 30 seconds later we could be talking about that. Encourage you to participate, engage with us, and let's have some fun and hopefully have an enjoyable morning of watching some soccer.
Rodney Wallace is with us on the sidelines as well. If you have any questions for him, I'm sure he'll be ready, as always, to answer them. Costa Rican international, his playing days.
I implore you to please ask some questions for Rodney Wallace that I can pass on to him. He gave me quite a few questions yesterday on the sideline, some that were soccer related, some not, so feel free to let me return the favor.
And if anybody out there knows Rodney Wallace needs a haircut as well, I'm told he's got some connections.
Had some usual suspects in the chat. Sizzling Bacon 1 2 3 4.
That might be the name of the tournament so far.
The big soccer guy. Fun fact.
Another good one.
Big soccer guy.
Yeah. Big Sizzling Bacon guy, I'm sure, as well. Who doesn't like sizzling bacon?
I mean, it's great.
Can't go wrong.
Got Rodney Wallace down on the sideline right now, doing his best investigatory work, getting all the insights, all the interviews. He knows everybody in U.S. soccer, so if he sees anybody wants to have a chat with them, we'll send them over to give an interview. In fact, let's go down for the first time, less than 6 minutes into Rodney Wallace on the sideline. Rodney, what do you got for us down on the field?
Yes, talk to me, Jamie. How are we?
We're doing great up here. How are you doing on the field? This is a little bit of opportunity for soccer. Top of the box.
Fantastic.
Oh, it's the opening goal as well.
As soon as I open up my mouth, obviously good things happen. And as you can see, we just got our first goal here in the match. It's a beautiful thing to see. Thank you, Jamie, for cueing me, all right?
Yeah, fantastic. And what a finish. That was a brilliant finish.
I think it was Bongongo, yes, who was able to finish that, and apparently as soon as Rodney Wallace utters words, goals appear.
Yeah, we bring Rodney Wallace on from the side, and Bongongo brings the goals from 20 yards out, confidently taken, gets to the top of the 18, puts his foot through it, and Rodney, I want to bring you back into the discussion here. A goal 6 minutes in the showcase format. What will that do to the two different sides here? How does it change things in early goal?
Yeah, great question, Jamie. Well, it's early on in the match, right? So for the momentum going forward, if you score a goal early on this at this stage of the game, it really just adds a boost of confidence. But it's also going to test your confidence and your concentration, because now the other team is going to be eager to come back and score a goal. So it's about staying organized, staying composed, and figuring out when is the next time that you can exploit the open spaces.
Wonderful insight from the Costa Rican international.
Surprised another goal didn't go in during that analysis, frankly.
If that's the case, Rodney would have been talking the whole game, so we'd have set a record here.
Confirmation of the
Bongongo in the 6 minute.
Bongongo with a wonderful finish to open the scoring for Soccer's FC Chicago. On the attack again, it's a little bit of a heeled ball into the center part of the penalty area. Chance to recycle this. It's lofted back in centrally. A bit of a slip in there. Allows LA Surf to get it away, but it is a foul and a free kick just outside of the penalty area here. And more for Carlos Oliveras and LA Surf to deal with here.
Jonathan Mendelin with the foul. Now you got an opportunity right on the cusp of the range of having a strike. Two different options. The right-footed option, go up and over the wall, or the left-footed option to try to curl this around.
Strike takes a deflection, and it's palmed over the top and out for a corner. Goalkeeper had to be very alert there, and was.
El Arcio with the strike, the left-footed attempt.
Wake up, come on.
Wall does its job to help change it. Put it right off the crossbar.
Hey, one all the way back, watch it.
Brave to stand in the wall, and then good goalkeeping in the end to be able to push it up and over. Hunter Maiden.
To lead to a chance here. Ball whipped in, essentially a chest to get it out of there. Another shot ricochets its way through, ping-ponging towards the goal.
Our goal scorer again with that effort. Two quick strikes. One's already found the back of the net, and when you have that sort of confidence, never going to hesitate to have a strike shortly thereafter.
Congo was on target earlier to open the scoring. That's what some of the best goal scorers do. You get a little greedy, you want a little bit more. Really good front foot start here for Sockers FC. Game 2 of our under-17 showcase triple header. Double things up, the heads go up as well. It was a decent header. And again, goalkeeper doesn't have too much trouble with it and holds on. Well, early goals have been the order of the day. The first 10 minutes has yielded us 3 goals between the first 2 games today.
An enjoyable 2-2 draw in the previous match, and then we're right back at it with this and picked up where we left off in the first half of the first game with some more goals. Everybody loves goals. Let's head to the Twitch chat here. Let's check it out, a place Rodney Wallace likes to frequent. Whether that's answering questions he did expertly yesterday, and then we get a delayed whistle here, and Bandage didn't play on, so good officiating. Or where Rodney, let's see, he Big Soccer Guy has a question, Rodney. I'd like to bring you in on this.
By the way, welcome back, Big Soccer Guy.
Big Soccer Guy.
Big loyal guy.
Big Soccer Guy. Big Rodney Wallace guy as well, too. Rodney Wallace.
Talk to me.
What's up with the late arrival? Couldn't let the morning game interrupt your beauty sleep?
Whoa.
Uh-huh.
I am confused about what you're talking about, actually, because I was there on time, and when I walked into the lobby, you guys were making excuses as to why we hadn't departed yet.
Yeah.
So was that due to your breakfast bagels?
Just wondering, as a, we'll take a look at this free kick. We'll hold that thought.
To the back post. Oh, was a good header as well. It's going to go over the top.
Just real quick, was it the fact that we were all waiting down in the lobby for you today to leave, and you were fashionably late, or was it the fact that I then had to get your breakfast sandwich for you this morning? Which do you think was more made you feel better about yourself?
In my personal opinion, I was not going to come down unless I was guaranteed breakfast and a ride. So until I had those 2 items confirmed, that there was no way that I was stepping out of my room for any reason.
All right.
Besides the fact that we do have to cover important soccer games. But I really do appreciate you, and really thankful for the breakfast sandwich. Even though I didn't ask for egg, I'm actually a vegan, and it was an egg bagel. But I really appreciate the gesture. Terrible listening skills from you.
You're very welcome. What I'd like to do now, we've been getting jersey
Great
ratings.
Gesture, terrible execution.
We've been getting jersey ratings. I want to see if we can go to the chat and get high maintenance
sounds like
ratings.
You're finishing.
Diva ratings for Rodney Wallace in the chat. We'll put it on a scale. I don't think 1 to 10 would be enough, so let's go 1 to 20.
Are we talking hot sauce right now? Are we talking the hot sauce meter?
but we're talking diva meter. Oh
my goodness.
High maintenance.
We're talking more than soft now.
We're talking about caliente. We're talking about caliente meter. You know what I mean?
I want the chat to get caliente with these responses.
Actually, yeah. Please keep me involved in the chat. I miss my Twitch family. So please continue the banter. I need it.
We've got some excitement on the field, and
that banter was caliente. My goodness.
Hey. Rodney Wallace. You got to be on your toes with Rodney Wallace. One of the sharpest on the field when he played, and even sharper off the field.
No question about that.
A lovely little touch. Just good job of reading the play from number 77 for Chicago Sockers. Did a really good job of just intercepting it and reading the play.
Rodney was on you in a flash with the morning routine right there as well.
Sorry, we're in a hotel and I couldn't whip up a vegan meal for my friend. Trying to set the game up. Rodney is a legend. Oh, Rodney is a legend. He's allowed
Jamie,
to be.
I'm right here. You can talk to me.
We asked our
I'm
friends
right here.
in the chat on a scale of 1 to 20. Rodney Wallace, high maintenance meter. We've got 100 out of 20.
Whoa.
Five
Bro,
times.
But you know what? Though, it's not like this is not a lie. I'm not gonna lie and say no. It's not true. Like, it's really okay to be high maintenance. I like to take care of myself. I like to be taken care of at times. You know what I mean? Like, I deserve it too, don't I? Can't do anything around here.
Oh, good reading from the goalkeeper to come out and intercept the ball. It was a quick little moment in time where a glimpse where it looked as though the window was going to open up for number 14 at the back post, Luca Rosso, to try to win the foot race. But in the end, really alert goalkeeping from Hunter Maiden to come out and thwart the attack.
Well, Congo, he's the man who has made the difference so far, with Sockers FC Chicago leading by 1-0 so far. It's LA Surf SC. You can hear Carlos Oliveras' coaching staff telling his group to try to press Sockers FC a little bit here, trying to get them a little bit more uncomfortable than they've been so far. That's going to be a foul and a free kick to slow down the tempo a little bit. Garcia was there to step in defensively for Sockers FC. And the back line controls. Chusji initially trying to make a little bit of headway, and then that's going to be brought back. That's another foul and another free kick. Burberry was there defensively, but ends up conceding the set piece. But Sockers FC continuing to be on the front foot. That clearance takes a awkward deflection. Might stay in here. In the end, it's out for a corner.
Several set-piece opportunities so far for Chicago Sockers FC, and I want to try to capitalize quickly to continue on the momentum they've built. It's about execution as well, though. Making good, decisive movement in the box and the delivery of the utmost importance.
Delivery is a looping one. Again, the heads go up. Janjic was nearly able to get on top of it. A wonderful overhead kick. This could release LA Surf in behind, a chance to equalize. Oh, it's a wonderful touch and a swing and a miss at the end. That was a really good opportunity. Beltran nearly able to find the back of the net, but Ivan Beltran in the end was stood up.
Oh, he did the hard work to get there, and a lovely cut into his right foot, and just the final touch failed him. Needed the sharpness and the execution. We got a man, Rodney Wallace, who's getting a lot of love in the chat. Fans love Rodney. And Rodney's got something for us down on the sideline. Rodney, talk to us. Rodney's not talking. He's now refusing to talk to us as long as I haven't gotten him his vegan food.
I was going to say it's the vegan thing, I think. Didn't end up coming through for him. Ball's controlled by LA Surf.
Let's head down to Rodney Wallace. He's got head coach Carlos Olivares in just a moment standing by him.
This is telling us that it's important for his team to keep the game compact and figuring out the spacing to press in the middle. And also, profe, te quiero preguntar cuál es la importancia de tener a un mentor, a un profesor que pueda hablar español, si el jugador se siente más cómodo en español. ¿Cuál es la importancia de tener a alguien así?
Es muy importante. Ellos vienen de familias inmigrantes que no necesariamente saben cómo el proceso funciona, son muy apasionados al fútbol y eso a veces les afecta en la manera de comunicarse con los entrenadores y les quita oportunidades, les cierra las puertas porque son muy apasionados, ¿no? Entonces es importante enseñarles el sistema, hablar con ellos, comunicarles cómo esto funciona, para que se abran más puertas en vez de cerrarse más puertas.
Claro que sí, demasiadas gracias, éxito en el partido. So, head coach Carlos Olivares was basically telling me in Spanish that he's explaining to me the importance of having a mentor, having a head coach as a mentor, especially somebody that can speak Spanish in an area where a lot of the teams and a lot of the players are from immigrant families. So it makes the players and the families feel more at home, more comfortable, especially in areas where they don't get as many opportunities. So for players that speak Spanish, for players from different backgrounds to have somebody that they can relate to, it's very important for the growth of and the development of these young players.
Fantastic stuff, Rodney. Fantastic stuff from you being able to translate that. Coach Olivares went on a long, very thoughtful thought there, and having you be able to translate that, nothing short of spectacular. Thank you, Rodney, for that.
Well, we saw it in the first game as well, Jamie, that just the relationships between the coaches and their players, and like you said, wonderful work from Rodney Wallace to get that lovely insight from Carlos Olivares on his group. Ivan Beltran's come the closest for the boys in blue to finding an equalizer since Soccer's FC went in front. This ball is sent forward over the top. Djendjic gave it a look. Hayden in the end deals with it. And then LA Surf win a free kick. Salas was able to maneuver a way to get to the ball and wins a set piece. Fight for it there on the far side. It's going to go back to LA Surf. Team that beat Cedar Stars Academy Bergen 2-0 in their first game here in Frisco, Texas. Soccer's FC lost to Charlotte FC 4-1 in their opening game of this tournament. Ball is floated in behind. A chance there to make some headway on the far side. It's well dealt with.
We've got multiple legends standing by on the sideline, Rodney Wallace being one, but dwarfed in size and stature and playing career by none other than FC Dallas legend, now FC Dallas ambassador, former Manchester United striker, the legendary Kenny Cooper is standing by. Let's go down to Rodney Wallace, who's got Kenny Cooper standing with him.
Yes, I'm here with Kenny Cooper, legendary Kenny Cooper, one of the nicest guys I've ever had the pleasure of playing with. But yes, not only your soccer, but it's about the person that you are. It's really an honor to be here with you. It's really good to see you, man. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
We had a special time on the pitch.
Yeah, we had a great time that inaugural season in Portland. Special memory for sure.
How does it feel being back in Dallas and being involved and basically being an ambassador for this club that gave you so much?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's a blessing. I love this club. I spent so much time here. I grew up in the area. And just feel honored to be a part of it and to represent the club. And there's a lot of great things going on here, obviously, within the first team, but at a youth level too. And it's great to have this here in our backyard and see all the talent.
Thank you. And what's the importance of having this at such a young age to have these young players on display? It's something that maybe we didn't have. We had the tournament, but we didn't have that exposure. How important is that, Kenny?
No, it's just amazing that they have an opportunity to experience the game at this level. The landscape has changed so much from when we were playing. Obviously, we didn't have this, and just everything from the setup to the standard of play. It's a professional level. And I think just the earlier they can experience it, the better for them, and just helps prepare them, obviously, for the professional level that we're fortunate enough to play at.
And what would be your message to a player that wants to, because we have people listening on Twitch and we have people on the chats on YouTube, what is something that you would tell any young striker looking to make it at this level, get to your level of the game? I know it's not easy, but to get to where you were, what is something that they can do?
I think, it's such a long journey, and having a positive mentality, I think, was so important for me. That self-belief, no matter what I experienced, adversity as a young player, whether it was missing a big penalty kick, injuries, all those things, can happen, but it doesn't have to, derail, your path. And, there's many, I always say this is, there's many paths, and there's a lot of different ways to get there. And, I think for me, it was all about enjoying the journey and just believing that, my dreams can come true, no matter what happens along the way.
I totally agree. I think that being self-aware and having the self-belief is so important. And it all adds to the mental aspect of the game and the development of such a young career. But, having somebody that you can rely to, that you can talk to, because there's so many challenges that we are faced at this age, and to have somebody like you who's been through it and to come back to this club and be a mentor to the young players, it's really amazing. I mean, if I was a 15-year-old and I had you, if I saw you walking around the grounds wearing the gear, that would be an inspiration to me. So for these players to have you, man, it's special. Really great to see you, and it's good to see you on Instagram scoring upper 90s still to this day.
Great to see you.
Ooh. Who is a better teammate, Kenny? Rodney or yours truly?
No, don't. No, you know what?
If I'm not,
if I'm not as good as Jimmy, that's okay. But I want you to be honest, Kenny. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this. This is Kenny being nice, Kenny again, man. Yeah, Kenny's telling the truth.
Kenny's diplomatic. He knows he won't give us one way or the other. But Kenny, blink if it was me. Okay, I read you.
But thank you, Kenny. Good to see you. Thank you for being with us. And we'll definitely keep in touch. I just got to go out here and I got to continue to work next. All right, so let me do my thing. We'll talk later.
Great stuff there.
Fantastic having Kenny Cooper join us. Marauding the sidelines. You can't go 2 or 3 steps without seeing somebody who knows. And Chicago Soccer's.
Oh, it's in. Janjic makes it 2-0. Just like that. Simple ball over the top. And LA Surfer 2-0 down. It's a wonderful finish under pressure there. And Sockers FC are off to a flying start here in showcase game number 2.
Really good from Janjic. The ball comes in, and it's a wonderful way from Arcio. Janjic is going to get in between the 2 center backs, take the touch away from the defender in front of him, number 17, Salas. And when he does that, now he's in between the defender and the ball. He beats the on-rushing goalkeeper, Maiden, and just calmly finishes it past. It's wonderfully taken from the center forward. 2-0 inside 28 minutes.
Great start for Sockers FC Chicago. Two very clinical finishes, it must be said. And they're 2 to the good as we hit the 28-minute mark.
The goal all comes from his ability to take that first touch down expertly. I mean, that is a next level type touch inside of the box, and I imagine the various scouts around the field right now watching that just see that, and it sort of just perks your ears up a little bit to go, that's a touch of a center forward that for somebody of his size and strength, it's such a deft touch. Those are the type of attributes and qualities that coaches drool about a center forward having, and then the calmness to finish it.
Okonkwo as well for the first goal. Wonderful finish. Janjic follows suit. And it's much like Empire United did in the early stages of our first game. Sockers FC have a 2-goal advantage in the early part of this fixture. They grab a third here. That was a crucial intervention defensively there with...
Yeah, Matza does a good job of coming over, having to make that intervention, as you mentioned, and you know, Matza, good positioning, had to be.
Sometimes all it takes is just a touch to get you out of trouble there, as it's going to be an LA Surf throw. He missed in our first game. Montreal came from 2-0 down to get a 2-2 draw against Empire United Soccer Academy of upstate New York. More goals and more action already, with almost half an hour gone in game number 2. Run initially down this near side. Sales get back onto it, trying to recycle it. It's brought down away from the ball. Referee spots it right away and gives a free kick.
Yeah, just got on the inside of Al-Shaman and pulls him down, and now this is a set piece and the really good range to try to provide some service. It'll be interesting when you're standing over this as a set piece taker. You're looking at the line. Where is Chicago Sockers FC going to set up shop? And if they go right at the top of the 18 with this left-footed effort from Salas, does he try to curl it around, land it in between the penalty spot and the top of the 6-yard box? Make Gorecki just think about, do I need to come? Do I need to stay? And number 40's just peeled off, and it's now adding another body in there for Chicago. That's disappointing to not clear the first player.
Might get a second bite at it here. It's looped back in. Goalkeeper comes and he's able to corral it at the second time of asking. Ball back in from Mata. Ends up being dealt with by Gorecki. Good outlet by Maiden for LA Surf Soccer Club. And make this trip a fruitful one down this far side. It's going to go out of play, and I think that's going to lead us into our first half hydro break here. Game number 2 with Sockers FC Chicago leading by 2-0. Let's take a look now at some of the Adidas sounds of the game. We've had some good ones so far. Let's see what this batch has in store for us.
Ball's on that side, right? Aron goes presses, he gets up and supports. Avi needs to tuck in, you need to go. If you're gonna go all out forward. Find the midfielders, they're open. Paolo, we cannot just go long ball. You gotta come back, drop and support, right? We're gonna build it.
Right? So when you guys come in, we gotta be able to move the ball side to side. Possession has to be a priority. But when we do attack, we have to change the tempo.
Here, Coach Oliveras, just giving instruction, different parts of the field, different players. There's certain things that are being asked of different players, and at times you heard him say we have to keep the ball. But then he was also turning around and speaking to players on the bench and understanding that there can be growth from watching the game and understanding what the game's unfolding. So when those players get called upon to be on the field, they've already starting to see some of the pictures and the ideas, and they can come in and quickly maybe change the game of when they're asked and of what's in front of them based on the pictures and the thought process of the coach and what he wants to achieve. And really vital and important stuff, and a great look into the inside of the mind of Coach Oliveras.
We've heard him talk in multiple languages already today, giving us some great insight. Again, that great inside look of how he is with his players. when it comes to tactical parts of the game, positioning as well. Sockers FC have been off to a brilliant start at the beginning of this game. Very clinical with the 2 goals that they've already scored. We'll take a look back at them here. It was a wonderful finish to start things off. Bukanko.
It's a brilliant job of stepping in front, winning it, and then transitioning quickly from defense to offense, winning it, changing the thought process, and then driving through, getting the technique spot on. And it's a wonderful start to the match very early on, and then Jancic with a fantastic first touch. Takes it away from Salas, beats the on-rushing Maiden. It's the right decision. Shot selection doesn't need much power or pace on it. It's just got to get past the on-rushing goalkeeper. He does what's asked of him and applies the finish brilliantly. 2-0. That's where we stand now as we're back into play. And it's interesting to see now this is a moment in which both teams get a chance to reevaluate and reassess and understand what the dynamics of the match is now at 2-0. Just about about a little over halfway through, and now you can start to see what do you want to try to achieve in the final 10-11 minutes plus stoppage time of this half. And for LA Surf, they're going to want to try to get a quality opportunity as well. Their key to the match that we talked about, Adidas keys to the match, is the final ball. We haven't been able to see that quality.
They'll get another shot at it here as it's deflected out for a throw. Mendelian will come over and help restart the play. LA Surf trying to work their way back into this contest.
Stop!
Was there a drag back there? Yes, assistant referee waves the flag. And it is a free kick. Another chance at a set piece opportunity. I think that was Peterson trying to make some headway down that far side. Also was helping out defensively. Sockers FC concedes the free kick.
Hey, right, a little bit right. One more. Settle, be strong.
And LA Surf grab a route back into the game.
Hey, watch the pass up there.
Good ball whipped in. It's a scramble for it inside of the penalty area in the end. Goalkeeper comes for it and he's able to corral it. That could have gone anywhere. Gorecki had to get there quickly after it was a scramble.
You can hear Coach Oliveira saying you've got to come back to 47. The goal scorer, Bukanko, is finding really good pockets of space from that little bit of deeper position, that kind of number 6, number 8 role. He's sitting just in front of the back 4, but also he's getting involved into the attack. That's how he went and scored the game's first goal. And when he's finding the ball in those areas offensively, he's a real problem. Coach Oliveira, you can hear him emphatically barking orders to make sure to pick up and not let him be such an influential playmaker for the Chicago Sockers FC.
We are on field 4 here at the Toyota Soccer Center in Frisco, Texas. See there, Sean St. Jacques, Jamie Watson, Rodney Wallace here with you. Game 2 of 3. Weather is ticking up just a little bit. It was 77 degrees first kickoff time. We've got it dipped up to now 86, actually, it looks like, here in Frisco. We're told it feels like 90 degrees out there. Humidity's up over 50% as we near halftime of game number 2 of 3. Day 3 of MLS NEXT Cup.
We had Rodney Wallace down on the sideline giving us some interviews with the coaches, with some former players, Kenny Cooper, FC Dallas ambassador, other former really fantastic MLS players in attendance, now turned scouts. Former teammate of mine, Josh Gardner. Fantastic career. This kid's very fortunate now to have really good former players watching and assessing, players that know what it takes to play at the top level, now imparting their wisdom on the youth, and I think that's why we've seen such an acceleration over the years. And Rodney, I want to invite you in on this chat. Has the game progressed because we're seeing a lot of these former players now go into coaching and scouting roles and really translating what they learned at the top level onto these players at young, impressionable ages?
Yeah, no, Jamie, I think you're spot on. I think it's important for young players aspiring to be professionals to be taught and to have former professionals as people that they can look up to receive messages from somebody that has been there, that has lived the game, that has played the game, that has gone through those experiences, through those ups and through those downs. It's a lot more meaningful for a player to get criticism or to get help or to have a former player as a resource. I think it's for the growth of the game. It's so crucial. For me, it's better than having somebody that is just a role model, just a coach. I think it's somebody that I physically saw scoring goals if I was a forward, or somebody that I saw pressuring the ball if I was a midfielder. So having somebody that was there in that environment will give me more of a motivation. But at the same time, it's important because of the mental aspect of the game and what they have been through. They have been through similar situations that I would face growing up as a young footballer. And Jamie, I have a question for you. As a striker, what was your number one rule in order to be successful, in order to put yourself in the best positions possible? What was your number one rule every single game?
I was never going to be outworked. I was never the tallest. This big soccer guy over the past couple of days has reminded everybody in the chat. But I always knew that what I lacked in talent I could make up for in hard work. And I think on a day when things may not be going your way, right, the touch is off, your positioning isn't what it necessarily should be, whether that's because of just poor timing, the ball bounces and it doesn't go your way, nobody can stop you from running. Nobody can stop you from working hard, right? That's one of the few things that you control. So if you continue to do that, you can sometimes run yourself into good positions. You can sometimes create your own luck. That's one thing I first and foremost that tell every young player. Nobody can stop you from running. A good skill on the far side.
Janjic, and again, and it's bobbled by the goalkeeper initially, but Eden gets back on top of it at the second time of asking, as Janjic was looking for a brace in this first half.
And Jamie, also, what are some things that players can do when they aren't at their best in a game? Not everyone's going to have their best game any given day. So what can a player do to get themselves back into the game in those moments that seem a bit difficult? Maybe you've missed a couple of chances. Maybe you've taken a couple of bad touches. How can you get yourself back in the game?
To get right back on track, the thing that I found the most, and I want to get your opinion on this as well too, is Chicago's building up again with another attack on this near side. I always felt that when things weren't going well, they needed to get back on track. Good ball in for Lind.
Looking for a third, good challenge.
Oh, fantastic tackle from Mata.
Goal kick.
And he knocks it back off Lind. I always felt that when things weren't going well and I needed to just catch my breath, I found that doing the most simplest thing that I could, whether I received the ball and I just played the way I was facing, even if it was a 4 or 5 yard pass, if I did that a time or two in a row and I stopped trying to overcomplicate the game, that got me back on track. And if you're a young player and you're watching this and you found yourself in a rough moment or two and you're trying to figure out how do I shake that, Congo, he was just trying to split the defense. Good attack. We'll finish this thought in just a moment.
Gets another chance to light some teammates into it, and is floated into the penalty area. Goalkeeper had to get a touch on that and punches it out of harm's way, and Beltran tries to get a counterattack going, but Conco picks it back up.
Oh, what a
wonderful ball back into the penalty area. Great challenge by Mata defensively.
And that's the difference of the first touch on the goal and that first touch. The first touch on the goal, he took it away from the defender. This one, it goes back towards the defender, and Mata, who was out of the play originally, is able to recover. That's fantastic defending after initially being beat.
Ball played again in behind. Salas trying to find Beltran in the middle, and it's touched out for a corner.
Positive play from Surf, and so just to finish that thought up, just being simple when things are going 100 miles an hour and it's complicated. Simplicity is important, and then start to grow into the game to try to do a thing or two that's more complicated. And so we see this corner kick for LA Surf. We'll go back down to Rodney in just a few moments. LA go quick.
Salas floating it in. More like he's able to make the leap and catch.
Rodney, what would you do on a day when you needed to get back on track? It wasn't going well. How did you flip that switch?
I think it was more about understanding my role at the time and not making it not taking it so personal, and understanding that there are many different factors to my team's success. So for me, it was always important to be a team player. So if I personally if I was having a bad game, or I didn't have the start that I wanted, I would think back and realize, how can I help my team in any other way? If I'm not being productive right now in front of goal, if I'm not being sharp enough, what else can I do? Whether it could be pressing, it could be doing the defensive work, making the right runs to distract and create space for my players. So figuring out what it is that I could do for my team, and how could I put my team in the best position to be successful. That's when I felt at my best.
Well said. Very wise.
It's a great back and forth there. Great insight for all the players out there watching.
Another question for Jamie. You played at the Youth World Cup level. What was the most challenging game you had at the World Cup, and what was the most memorable experience at the World Cup?
That's a really good question. LA's got this free kick right on stroke of halftime. Gorecki comes out and collects on the hop. We played against Spain that had two players, most likely people in the chat will know, and you'll know. David Silva went on to play for Spain and Man City, and then also Cesc Fabregas played in that game. And let me tell you, they were down, and Man Silva got sent off in the first half. They were already up 1-0, Spain was, and they beat us 2-0, and it probably could have been 5 or 6. They were phenomenal on the day. And then we lost to Brazil to knock us out of the Youth World Cup 3-0, and I think we got our first shot on goal in 40 minutes in. But the goalkeeper was kind enough to not catch with his feet. He picked it up, did me a favor. Those were two of the most difficult matches at the international level. For you, Rodney, who was the most difficult players you played against, or teams you played against at the international level?
Sorry, I got a bit distracted by the play right in front of me. What'd you say?
Well, let's see this chance materialize.
LA Surf trying to get one back. Well, that's a trip in the penalty area, and the penalty has been given here in first half stoppage time. Villa Gomez was brought down, and this is a chance for LA Surf to get back into this. Suji's challenge booked as well for it, and this is a big chance for LA Surf to get back into this contest.
Confident running from Villa Gomez. Was done really well to cut inside, and this is decisive from Villa Gomez as he cuts across, and it's so intelligent to just leave the left leg as he goes past Suji. He just sort of leaves it dangling into the path, and when that does, it brings him down. He gets a knock, and he's still on the ground inside the penalty area.
Well, they called for trainers to come out and take a look at him. Both teams are going to come to the sideline. Well, we hope Villa Gomez is okay. He's able to at least get up under his own power here.
He's able to get up on his own power, so that's good. And this will most likely be the last action of the first half. To the penalty spot we will go, with the chance to cut the lead to 2-1. This would be a big momentum grasping moment for LA Surf if they're able to draw one back seconds before the halftime interval.
Potentially shades of our first game, oddly enough, when CF Montreal were able to score at the end of the first half. They were 2-0 down. They came back to level it at 2-2. So we wait a very pivotal moment. We're trying to see if Villagomez is okay. He's starting to run a little bit. You can see there in the penalty area, just trying to make sure he's okay to continue. Marecki will be called upon here to try to come up with a big save out of this brief injury stoppage.
I'm going to come talk to you in a second. Don't touch that goal.
Villagomez, who won the penalty, appears to be stepping up to take the penalty as well.
Boys, like I told them, make sure you're off the area. The line is in, so stay off. Not off.
Can Aaron Villagomez get LA Surf back within one here in first half stoppage time? Showing great resilience to deal with that nick, get back ready to take a penalty and to score a penalty as well. Brilliant from Aaron Villagomez all the way around. And LA Surf SC are right back in it as the first half comes to a close. It's 2-1.
Really calm. Opens the hit, closes him at the last second. Sends Gorecki the wrong way. Expertly taken. And a wonderful finish from Villagomez to make it 2-1 as we make it to half.
Very good first half here as Sockers FC got off to a great start. 2 early goals. But LA Surf have made it a contest here. And at the break in Frisco, it's 2-1 between LA Surf and Sockers FC Chicago.
Coconut water?
He never took criticism.
Thank you.
And so, when... Why don't you shake? What's going on, man?
Sean St. Jacques, Jamie Watson back here with you, looking at full-time highlights from our first under-17 showcase game today as Empire United took on Club de Foot Montreal, and it was Zarcone who got Empire United off to the right start and celebrated with the camera after the opening goal inside of the first few minutes.
It's a moment you live for as a center back, to go up and make your mark on a set piece, and then the celebration was a 10 out of 10. And the onslaught continued inside the first 10 minutes. Another set piece, another corner. This time a little bit of a different look. Cowan gets to the near post, and while there's confusion in the box, Matt Terrell reacts first. He reacts fastest, and he makes it 2-0 10 minutes in.
What a start it was for Paul Valenti's group, but Club de Foot Montreal had the answer. It was our man of the match, Kulangis, who got one back.
And it was the quick fire response to read the play, to step in, win it, understand that there was a center back that was approaching, rides Zarcone as well, sends him to the ground, and then sends the left-footed finish to the top corner at the near post. That really sparked CF Montreal. And then moments before half, it was the calmness of Adam Rodriguez, who was influential all throughout, to just drive in. Isn't closed down enough. Picks the spot at the far post and makes it 2-2 as we entered the half.
Second half yielded more opportunities for both teams. There was this penalty shout. Rodriguez went down. You thought this was a penalty?
I think it was just inside the box. It was the reaching nature of the defender, Duncanson. He doesn't get any of the ball. It was enough for me to be a penalty, but the referee didn't want the game to be decided on that. As such, it was another half-hearted shout. This one hits a hand. I think it's too close. It's in a natural position. Nothing else the defender could do. You'll see another lunging challenge from Benny. Not much in that as well. And then Ramsey with a superb reactionary save, going the other way, throws himself back across. A strong right hand preserves the 2-2 result.
Welcome back to Frisco, Texas, everybody. Sean St. Jacques, Jamie Watson, Rodney Wallace here with you. 2-1 Sockers FC leading LA Surf at the break. It's been a fun second game here in Frisco so far, with LA Surf on the comeback trail at the end of what was another entertaining first half here in Frisco, Texas. Again, Sean St. Jacques, Jamie Watson back here with you in the heat here in the Lone Star State. Really good half again with this time LA Surf trying to come back from a 2-goal deficit.
Yeah, I thought they did a good job after conceding 2 early goals to Chicago Sockers FC. They came back into the game and they grew into the game, and with that they were able to get their reward just before half. It looked as though Chicago Sockers were really going to take this game and never let hold of it. Credit to LA Surf for growing back into it.
Yeah, it really was a good one so far. We'll take a little bit of a closer look at it with the halftime highlights from this one so far, game 2 of this session so far, and it was Chicago Sockers FC that got off to the great start.
Baconco steps in front, he wins the ball, cuts inside to the favorite right foot, drives through it, celebration a la Cristiano Ronaldo, and gives his team an exceptional start to this match. Only 3 minutes in, and then an onslaught of opportunities. This set piece opportunity from RCO gets tipped up and over the box by Maiden, and then LA Surf started to get into this. This was a chance for Beltran in which he did the hard part. He did everything he needed to, read the defender well, cuts inside, and he just needs to apply the finish. It's rolling away, but he's still got to be able to get his feet right. And then the other end we go. One opportunity missed, and Jancic makes no mistake about it. Wonderful first touch off the chest, creates the space and the separation he needed to, and applies the finish to make it 2-0.
It really was a dream start for Sockers FC. 2 very clinical finishes, but there was that late twist at the end of the first half with LA Surf in more of the ascendancy at the end.
And then they got their reward for a really bright, smart, controlled run. Villa Gomez gets inside. Suji cuts it inside. Suji goes in the book with a yellow. Villa Gomez goes to the spot. He goes to his left. Gorecki goes to his left. Wrong side. Puts him the other way and changes the complexion of the halftime team talks for both managers as we go into the half at 2-1.
Who says don't, I should say, who says 2 lefts don't make a right? In the end, it goes in the back of the net. The right thing for LA Surf. They're back within 1 here. Bunch of changes for LA Surf at the break as well. We'll get to those in a moment. Again, Sean St. Jacques, Jamie Watson returning here with you. Great half of soccer. And again, you want to interact with us on Twitch, twitch.tv/MLS. We got a couple of your questions here during the halftime break. Do you have to try out to get onto an MLS Next team, or do you get recruited?
Here I am just going to the Twitch chat, just checking it out over my shoulder here. To answer that question, which is a really important one, you do get recruited at this level. This is an elite level. These are some of the best youth players in the country. So there is a normal tryout process for these clubs, but a lot of these players are, in fact, recruited to be here and for these types of moments and for these occasions.
Yeah, we've seen some great talent from all the teams out there so far. We got one more, Jamie.
I'll go back to it.
Please.
Let me read it. So, what makes you most excited to commentate for these events? And I won't speak for you, but I'll say for me, I think that this is a privilege to be able to watch some of the best youth players in this country. This tournament, this MLS Next Cup, is something that didn't exist a few years ago, and this platform elevates youth soccer. So to be able to be here watching these games, seeing some of the best and brightest stars in our country playing in front of us, it's an honor to be able to commentate for myself. And Sean, I'll ask you that question as well as we get underway here in the second half.
I can only echo those comments. Just from the games I've done already, not a lot, obviously, the first one, and then today's second game that we have back underway here between Sockers FC and LA Surf. You immediately see the talent that's at display for both teams involved in both of our games so far. We have more to come, obviously, in Game 3. I think the biggest thing for me so far is just seeing the way the coaches interact with their players, the camaraderie amongst the players, the coaching staff, and how much they care not only about on-field performance, but the development of these players as people as well. We've seen some great already sounds of the game that have illustrated that, and some great interactions from Justin Galanti, Rodney Wallace getting some great thoughts on the sideline as well. That really, for me, is one of the best parts about being a part of this, no question about that.
Well said. In a moment, we'll go down to the third member of our broadcast team, Rodney Wallace. We'll get his thoughts as we start to grow into the first 90 seconds or so of this second half. And I do believe we have Rodney standing by on the sideline. Rodney,
talk to me.
How
can I help you?
You know, other than having millions of adoration and fans in the chat, what's been your favorite part of commentating on these groups?
Are you mocking me, or is this like?
No, I mean,
are you playing games again?
It actually really upsets
me
how many people like you. You know, it's sickening.
I'm sick of you.
Well, you're in luck, my friend. We're halfway through today. We've got another game and another half here. So,
talk to me. What's going on?
So,
how's my Twitch family, by the way? I missed them.
Yeah, you know, lots of chats is an effort from Jancic. Just harmlessly goes into the arms of Maiden. It's really calmed down. You sort of just wrote out that second half and didn't input much, so therefore the chat didn't input much. I think there's a direct correlation to the Rodney Wallace involvement to our broadcast, to the chat.
I'll be back soon. I'll be back to stir the pot. Don't worry, everybody.
All right, that's what we know and love. In the meantime, you get to work down there with your being the eyes and ears for us down on the field.
A great interview with him and Kenny Cooper earlier as well in the first half.
And the fact that he was able to do the interview with Coach Carlos Oliveras, and he was able to translate that for us. What a privilege and just a joy to be able to get to the inside of the coach and his native language with Rodney. That was something special.
And I think even beyond that, I think the conversation with him is obviously the important part, and getting his thoughts on the personal side of coaching and what does it mean to be a coach, what does it mean to be a friend, a mentor, and a positive influence on the lives of these young players, especially with all the things that they have that young players have going on these days, whether it's social media, whether it's whatever, Instagram or Twitter, all the comments that they can read and negative things that they can see. It's important to always have a healthy environment. For Coach Carlos to come in and say how important it is to be in a family environment and have somebody to really bounce ideas off is super key and important for the growth of the game. But for a human connection, to have somebody that you can relate to, it's definitely a plus side in youth sports. Did you have any mentors that you looked up to? Any coaches that you still keep in touch with from your youth days, Jamie?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think so. Your youth coaches in this age, they're some of the most important people for you as a soccer player. And John Ellinger was my youth national team coach, and somebody you'll know as well. He was a phenomenal human being, a wonderful coach. My first professional coach too was Real Salt Lake, and drafted me, and he was a really important figure in my life. Go on,
Jamie. Another question for you, and this is coming from me personally, because you were older than me, so I was able to watch you perform at elite levels. Like I said, I watched you in the Youth World Cup, and then I was able to watch you get drafted. What was that moment like for you when you realized you had the opportunity to go pro? What was that like? What was that decision making for you, for your family? Because I know a lot of these players, that's what they're looking for. They want to live that dream. They want to be able to put on the scarf of the club that drafted them. What was that like for you?
That's a big moment, you know, as well. Going professional, playing in the World Cup, it's the greatest achievement. It's a culmination, right? It's not just you, it's your family as well, because one of the cool things we got to hear in the last game from Empire United was, as we had the head coach mic'd up, he was talking about a player that drives 2 hours each way, as LA Surfer caught offside, drives 2 hours each way to go to training. So in order to achieve that dream that all of these players share that are on the field here today and going into professional, it's not just you doing it yourself, it's sort of a culmination and a collective effort of a family and of a support system to be able to do that. So it's kind of that moment of realization that everybody has sort of realized this dream, and then your payback to them is working hard to try to make that go as long and as fruitful as it can. And you'll know that moment, what that's like. And you know, when you're standing there, you know, you're on the field in a World Cup, what do you think about, Ronnie? Are you thinking about yourself, or are you thinking about family, coaches? What was going through your mindset in that moment?
No, that's such a great question. For me, once I got to the World Cup, or once I got to that environment, to feeling that way, to knowing that I was getting close to getting on that plane and representing my country, I realized that it wasn't just about me, and it was about everybody that had an impact in me to get to Russia in 2019. So even my aunt, she was the one that gave me, she bought me my first pair of cleats, so it was something that I had never forgotten, and I was able to basically show some love to her and let her know how thankful I was for her to give me my first pair of shoes, and for me to give thanks to her and allow her to know that she was a huge driving force for why I got to the World Cup. Meant a lot to me. And also, going back to Costa Rica, whenever I would get called up, I would always give my tickets to the guys in the neighborhood that I grew up playing with, because the way that I looked at it, those guys in the neighborhoods, those were the guys that I looked up to. I looked up to playing against those guys that were older. I grew up playing in the streets, and being able to bring those guys to the national team games, that meant a lot to me, because that was my way of giving back and saying thank you. And then for us to now be on this pitch and being able to watch youth soccer, this is our way of basically being helpful, being uplifting to these kids, and giving forward to the game that gave us these opportunities. Like, we're still involved with the game, so there's no better way to pass this on than to be able to showcase and talk about young talent and boost them and allow them to get to the next level.
Saw a little bit of that great conversation you had with Kenny Cooper, and that came out in that as well, your guys' relationship.
Kenny Coop.
Yeah.
Kenny Coop is, as Jamie will tell you, he is one of the nicest human beings that you'll ever come across. But don't ever cross him on the soccer field, because he's a giant. He's very kind, but those are the most dangerous ones. The people that are really, really nice, once they get angry, you don't want to be in front of them. So Kenny and I remember we had an incident where we just didn't see eye to eye. And I had never been that intimidated by Kenny, because he was so nice. But the way that he stepped up to me, like, let me know that I needed to back off and
apologize for whatever it was.
Kenny, I'm so sorry. You are way bigger than me. What am I doing?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, we hugged it out after, though. But those are the things that make players and teams successful, right? Like, you don't always have to agree with your teammate in training. You don't always have to be buddy-buddy. At times, the competitive side will get the best out of the players' emotions. But when we do realize that this is all done for the greater good of the team, sometimes it happens, and you just got to understand that as professionals we won't agree, but at the end of the day, we got to respect each other, talk it out after training, and make sure that the next day we come back in and we're ready to work.
At the half, we did have 6 changes for LA Surf, plethora of changes, and try to quickly run through those for you. Biswas came out, Zapata comes on, Justin Zapata comes on, Ivan Beltran comes off, Nicolas Silva comes on, Nathan Vindelin comes off, Reese King comes on as there's an offside on LA Surf. Emiliano Ruiz comes in for Ivan Cesar Sanchez in the middle of the park. Burberry comes off, Palomero comes on, and in the back, Mata comes off, Robert Callahan comes on, excuse me. So there are the changes for LA Surf. 6 new players on, and we'll see how that sort of changes the way in which they attack, maybe a little bit more energetic in the first 10 minutes, starting to get some opportunities and a good switch to the field now.
Lovely touch into space as well as Gomez, who's already scored once today, tries to create a chance. He nearly got it back as well.
That was Zapata with the overlapping run. Really, really good positioning. George Peterson, slow to get up.
Gorecki was able to get to it at the end of that sequence for Sockers FC. Peterson's held back up. We hope he's okay as he heads to the sideline. Couple of changes for Sockers FC. Luca Rasso is taken off. Sante Sabion has come on. Emiliano Ordaz is going to come on as well, number 93 for Sockers FC. Tyson Ashleman makes way. It's a quick double switch here.
Hey, watch the side. Hey, my bad. Hey, watch the side.
Also for LA Surf, Ethan Ferd coming on. George Peterson, we just saw a little bit in discomfort. He's the one that comes off. And we hope Peterson is okay. Immediately the substitute gets involved on this near side. It's a really good challenge defensively, and LA Surf can alleviate some of that pressure. That's going to be a step through, a foul and a free kick. Going LA Surf's way. Where did we put LA Surf's kits on the raid for today?
Well, we're gonna table that for just a second because Rodney Wallace is down. We're very fortunate to have an incredibly well-respected referee with us today down on the sideline. Rodney Wallace is with Joe Fletcher. Rodney, we'll throw it down to you.
Yes, I'm here with two-time FIFA World Cup referee Joe Fletcher. Joe, thank you for having us here. Well, first of all, it is great to have somebody of your caliber, a referee, a world-class referee here representing the youth. So thank you for being here, and please tell us what it is that you're doing here from FIFA Pro.
So the Pro Outreach Academy is here to help with officials sort of on their way, much like the players here who are starting off and with their academy teams and hoping to make it to the first team one day. So too are these officials here. And the Outreach Academy is here to help officials who may not have gotten opportunities otherwise to have a chance to showcase what they know, have a chance to learn and grow. And a lot of times at home, referees, we don't get coaches. So here's a chance for them to have an entire week with some coaches. I have other people here helping me as well, and it's a chance to let them grow and improve. And maybe one day we see them in the stadium over there.
Referees don't get enough coaching, and they don't get enough recognition. So, in behalf of the players and on behalf of fans as well, we'd like to thank you because referees don't get enough praise. You only see them. You only get the negative from the referee because of your decision making, and it's a tough place to be. But I understand that referees make mistakes. I was a young player once, and I let my ego get the best of me, and most likely you gave me a yellow card that wasn't for you. More than one, but no, it is great to have you. It is great to have you here for this initiative, to have referees that look like me, black referees representing the professional level. It's good because growing up, I personally didn't get to see that many black referees. So for you to be here representing black referees, to be representing women, to be representing women referees, this whole crew right now, can you explain it to us? This whole crew right now is a crew of women referees, right?
Yeah, they happen to be a crew of excellent referees performing really well, and just so happens that all three are female.
Exactly. So
It's good. I really appreciate that MLS DEI is taking the initiative to help fund the Pro Outreach Academy, because they realize that, we don't want to miss out on value. We want the best product working in a Major League Soccer one day, and you can't just step in the field and be there tomorrow, right? You have to start somewhere. So this is a great place for us to get a chance to see what they know, give them a little bit to help make them factually better match officials, and then, hey, sky's the limit, right? Because if you can do the job, do we care about your gender or your skin color? No, we do not. We care about you being a good match official, and everybody deserves that opportunity.
Love to hear it. Thank you, Joe Fletcher. I really appreciate to get these words from you, and good luck moving forward.
See you, Rodney. Thank you.
Yeah, great stuff from both of them there, talking about the great officials we've had these last 3 days here in Frisco, Texas, and then some.
It's really cool to hear Joe Fletcher. He mentioned something that the MLS DEI program, that's the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion program, and the initiative that Major League Soccer basically embarked on. It's entering into its 10th year, and one of the big announcements they had is LA Surf gets an opportunity.
Might fall for a second chance as it's whipped across, out of play, not quite, but soccer's control.
Just to pick up on that, just one of the big announcements that Major League Soccer had just over a year ago was the addition of Sola Winley to the Executive Vice President and Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer. It's remarkable, and I'm kind of proud to think that we've been 63 minutes in, and Rodney made the point when speaking with Joe that this is an all-female officiating group. They've done such a good job today and they've just been expert in everything that they've done so far in their handling of the game that we haven't even made note of it. And I think that's a great point of where we're at now, that we were over an hour into the match, and whereas in the past that may have been newsworthy right off the bat, it was just sort of commonplace now. You think like Katie Nesbitt, Catherine Nesbitt, she goes by Katie, having her being representative, and she represents the United States on the international level. She'll be going to the World Cup as well. I mean, it's something really special to be a part of, and something MLS has put a real big emphasis on, and I think are making some real big headways with over the course of the past decade.
We talked about how much the game is growing, just shown by this tournament, MLS Next Cup's opportunities, but it also provides great opportunities for referees as well. And the game continues to grow from so many different aspects.
Well, it's just like, we're talking to Rodney Wallace about his experience in the World Cup. Joe Fletcher's been in 2 World Cups as well.
Yeah.
So imagine how much experience those referees are gaining in these moments. And it's not like we're going to meet next week to talk about a play that happened last week. Do you remember this? No, as soon as they're coming off, even in hydration breaks, they're able to get assessments and they're able to get critiques and compliments as well. And Pro has gone leaps and bounds ahead. Howard Webb has done a really, really good job of coming in and pushing this program to the initiative where it is now, and the video review system that they have implemented. Although we don't have that here in today's match or any of the MLS Next Cup at the professional level, I think Major League Soccer has set itself up with the pro referees as sort of the standard bearers of where video review can and should be at a professional level. And there's been some real big growth. There's still growth to be had, which is exciting. We haven't seen the best yet of everybody. There is still evolving, but much like the players, each and every day there are professionals that are dedicated to get better and better. And there are a lot of people like we're seeing today, like the crew we have officiating today's match, that have ambitions of being professionals one day as well. Well, they are professionals, but on the pro full-time officiating group.
Absolutely.
Just to clarify that.
Yeah, they've been tremendous. Just over 25 minutes gone here in game number 2. There's still one more game to follow after us as well. All under 17 showcase games today here on Twitch and YouTube. Again, you can hit us up, twitch.tv/MLS. If you want to ask us any questions, give us any comments on what you've seen today or throughout the tournament. I was saying earlier before we threw it to Ron, I do like the LA Surf kits. It's one of the better ones I've seen, at least so far. You've had a little bit more of a look around. Gomez is on the attack here. Could be a chance to equalize, and it's blasted wide of the goal.
And in the end, Ethan Furred just can't compose himself to put that on target. Good positioning to be involved. I like to see him try to keep that effort on target, aiming for the far post. Rodney's normally been our in-house chief correspondent of jersey ratings, so let's send it down to Rodney and get your thoughts. We'll start off first with the Chicago Sockers FC, a bit more traditional, standard look.
They told me I can't talk about these kits. They're not Adidas.
Oh, we don't want to talk about them.
I have no
we only want to talk about Adidas.
I'm
fair enough.
Adidas through and through.
Fair enough.
You know what? 0, because it's not Adidas. That's what the score is.
0 bottles of hot sauce. That is very vanilla.
Well, then let's talk about your Adidas kicks. What would you give yourself a scale of those?
Which ones?
Your Adidas kicks that you're wearing.
No, right now I'm not wearing. Are you talking about like my
yeah, your
my
Adidas
personal,
kick game, like in general? Like, let's say if you had the sum and the collective of it.
Probably would be my personal collection, the Rodney Wallace ones, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Those are the ones I was wearing yesterday. If you guys didn't take notice, yes, I am a designer as well. But anyway,
where can we get that? By the way, hold on, we're not just going to flow by that.
You can't get that. Right?
So the Rodney Wallace's ones and only.
It was friends and family. We weren't that close.
All right, there's a corner. Let's talk about it after that. So we're going to dive into that.
It's gone in towards the back post. It's out for a goal kick.
We're not just going to skate by the fact that you said you're a designer.
What? What do you want me to tell you? Want me to lie to you?
So no, I want you to elaborate.
That's what you got on now. I think they just showed it. Yeah.
Okay.
So all right. So let's talk about it. What's the price point of these Rodney Wallace ones?
Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Rodney Wallace ones, right? So it was a collaboration that I had with Adidas when I was playing for the Portland Timbers. And as you know, the headquarters are in Portland, Oregon. And I was Generation Adidas, so I had the privilege of going to the headquarters and coming up with a shoe that I felt represented who I was. And the theme of my shoe was Blood, Sweat, and Tears. And it was paying tribute to all the hardships that we go through and all the joy and all the efforts that go along to making it to the professional level, and paying homage to those people that were close to us that didn't get to make it to the game but still supported us. So I was able to create the shoe and have a bit of a capsule and extend it to my friends and family that had gone through those same emotions and that whole roller coaster with me in my career.
That's beautiful.
So I wish I was wearing them today. I wish I would have talked about it yesterday, but it's a good point you brought up. So it also goes hand in hand with being a professional and taking advantage of the fact that you are more than just a quote-unquote soccer player. A lot of players are talented at many different other fields. Different hobbies.
Yeah, you don't limit yourself, do you, to just shoes and soccer?
I just feel like you can't limit yourself. I think that being in this environment, being in a professional environment, in the spotlight, there's so many things that you can do to give back, to inspire, and to elevate yourself as a human being and as a personal brand. So why not take advantage of that at a young age and to have somebody to tell you that, and maybe they can listen to me and know that, okay, I'm 15 years old and I'm really good at web design. Why can't I do that and at the same time be a world top striker? So it's always good to be multidimensional and really understand that there is more out there than just the beautiful game of football.
That's right. Shoes Rewind by Rodney Wallace.
There it is. So we'll talk about CBD. I can't give you guys everything.
It knows no bounds, the abilities of Rodney Wallace. And in the chat, people are saying as we get an opportunity, LA Surf alleviating some of the pressure that Chicago Sockers are applying now, and another opportunity building.
Could be a chance for a cross here into the middle. Flag is up. I think it went out of play. It's going to be a goal kick, and Sockers FC are going to make a change here with about 20 minutes to go. Brian Salvino, he's going to come on to Chuchi, who he's on a booking, must be said. Giving away the penalty, he's going to make way. Just under 20 minutes still to go with Sockers FC still hanging on to that 2-1 advantage. All three of the goals coming in the first half.
We're a few minutes away from a hydration break, but as we get to the final 20 minutes of this U17 showcase match, the players that have come on have 20 more minutes to try to continue to show the scouts here in attendance and the people watching on the stream some of their abilities within the group, and opportunities like this, good decisions to press, forces a turnover, little things like that add up. Now can you turn and translate it into an offensive opportunity?
Sockers FC trying to do that of their own on the other end, but Ball rolls too close to the goalkeeper, and LA Surf come away with it, trying to come back from a 2-0 deficit. Flag is up here. Just before Ferd was trying to get in behind off a great ball, but assistant referee all over it here on the near side.
Go to the Twitch chat here, and we had a really good one from Garnet Hart. I'm so hyped for the new Apple TV deal for MLS. Finally can watch away games that are blacked out. And yes, that means the end, starting next year, of blacked out games. There will be no more local blackouts. You'll be able to watch the game with your Apple TV subscription to MLS, and it is a landmark, groundbreaking deal, not being done in sports where it's exclusively on the streaming platform. It's a big step forward in this league, sign a monumental deal ahead of the World Cup this year, and they'll take them through the World Cup and Canada, United States, and Mexico in 2026. Very excited about the potential opportunities Major League Soccer has, and now sort of the reins collectively are off. MLS gets to be able to generate the content that they want on the platform that they chose, and be able to really make their mark over the next decade of what watching and consuming sports looks like. Right, Sean? We talk about this. We're looking at the chat. That question was sent in 30 seconds later. We're talking about it, right?
Yeah.
Is that something that becomes more of a norm? I don't know yet. I don't have all the answers, but I do think that there is a place for that, and understanding that people commenting at home are just as engaged as we are here in the broadcast booth and have a vested interest. And we'll chat more about that, you know, in the games to come across the week. But right now, our second hydration break of the match.
Hydration break here in the 74th minute. We'll get another look here at some of the Adidas sounds of the game.
They feel like they're now in the game, right? Because they were able to create an opportunity by putting some pressure against the back line, and then all of a sudden now they picked up a penalty from that. What's the other way that they can get some opportunities? Overtime. Hitting the ball long, right? So that's important, where you guys have got to start to read the play ahead of you and be able to drop off, and especially the outside guys furthest from the ball have to come inside there.
One thing we did not do well enough here was release these guys to run and cross. Asa did it a couple of times. George never went. Maybe he went once and he got stopped halfway. But part of the problem was we didn't hold on to the ball long enough in the middle of the field to allow them the time to get forward. So what do we need to do here?
Adidas is a proud partner of MLS Next, where others see the impossible. At Adidas, we see possibilities. Impossible is nothing. Another great addition of sounds of the game as you get a look here at the Field 4 facility at the Toyota Soccer Center. Day 3 of MLS Next Cup here in Frisco, Texas. Sean St. Jacques, Jamie Watson, Rodney Wallace, our entire crew here. 15 minutes still to go in Game 2 of our U17 Showcase triple header. We've had some really good action so far in this one. 7 goals between the first 2 games so far, as Sockers FC are trying to hold on to a 2-1 lead against LA Surf.
One thing I missed in the chat just a few moments ago, Unimoose Phil said, hey, shout out to the camera crew and producer and all of our wonderful crew here. It's blazing hot here, but all of our hardworking crew is standing out in the sun, trying to give you all of the looks, all of the different angles, doing everything that it takes. Camera crew, audio engineers, our wonderful team in the truck, our producer Wes Crow, just doing everything they can to try to give the best show possible to you at home. And we can't echo those sentiments loudly enough. Top-notch crew here, and we hope you're enjoying the show at home, and we appreciate you tuning in and being a part of it.
Yeoman's work from our crew, as always, here in Frisco. The ball is given away. Sockers FC could have a chance to counterattack here if they hurry. It's flared over the top, an opportunity, but the goalkeeper is there. It's great work defensively. And LA Surf regained possession in search of an equalizer. Gomez scored via the penalty spot in first half stoppage time to get LA Surf back within one. Sockers FC win a free kick. That's where we stand as we enter the latter stages of this contest. Sockers FC increased their lead. Not sure they were ready for that ball to come in. Still being fought for on the edge. The two goal scorers get tangled up there. Via Gomez wins a free kick.
There we go. Uniboost Phil. I see you, camera crew. Wonderful crew. Getting the love and the praise they deserve in the chat. This game, I feel like there's still a couple of chances in there. This is a good look for Ethan Bird.
Didn't quite get on the end of it. It's swept away defensively. Still stays with LA Surf.
It's really, really good cover from Emilio Ordaz to be able to come over, read the game, read the bounce, and be able to clear it away before Bird's able to get a strike on goal.
Stays with LA Surf just beyond the coaching area where Carlos Oliveras, who's given us some great stuff today.
Robert Callahan's going to take a long throw on this near side.
Callahan's ball in, dealt with first time of asking. Sockers FC get it away, a chance again to break here. They don't quite have the numbers, but they might have the pace. Goalkeepers come off his line and gotten there in time, crucially. Maiden does really well there. Feels like there could be a few more twists in this one. It's a foul and a free kick.
That was really, really good for Maiden to stay alert in that moment. Pavillon was in, and if Maiden is a half step behind, well, that could have been 3-1, and that would have been a very difficult task to overcome at this point in time.
The set piece, it's sent soaring into the penalty area. Woods headed on for a chance to equalize. Oh, and it's blocked off the line. Third! And somehow it stays out.
Oh, it's so unlucky from Ferd, because as the strike comes across, Nicolas Silva connects cleanly with it. And Ferd's trying to redirect it in, but he's actually gone past it, so it's hit his heel, and he stopped it on the line. And then Gorecki does enough to be able to get the second effort. Oh, inches away from leveling it. It's almost hard to fathom how in the world this doesn't go in. Silva collects himself, drives it across, and Ferd, he's trying to tap it in, but he goes past it. Oh, it's a difficult, difficult moment. Gorecki stays with it. Alert goalkeeping and even more alert defending to get back on the line is Ferd. If there wouldn't have been defenders on the line, he would have been able to turn, collect himself, and just tap it into an empty net, but because there was, he throws a back heel at it. He can't quite connect with it, and game-tying goal doesn't amount to what it could have been and potentially should have been.
LA Surf so unlucky there. Maiden picks it up at the other end. Could have very easily gone across. Two big chances on the doorstep there. Via Gomez who's already scored today from the penalty spot. Trying to send it back across the face of goal. It's out for a set piece here. I think one of the impressive things about Villagomez's goal as well was that he picked up a little bit of a knock, had to kind of run it off, and then still, after winning the penalty, stepped up to take it and converted it. Magonko, who was a little slow to get up here, he scored the first goal for Sockers FC.
As you're getting the look on your screen now, Soccer's going to have to play down a man for just a moment. Emilio Ordaz has just had to come off the field, a little bit of blood in his mouth, so now he's got to stay off the field for just a moment. So this set piece will be taken down a player.
He's waiting for some attention here to clean that up.
These are moments where communication is key, because he could have had responsibility on the set piece.
And it comes. It's a free header just on the edge of the penalty area. It goes begging in the end. And out for a goal kick as LA Surf continue to push and try to create chances that could lead to a tying goal.
There's a look at Ordaz trying to get the bleeding to stop so he can get back on for the last 7 minutes of stoppage time. Saw a really good question in the chat just a moment ago that said, what is something that you would do or say to try and motivate your team if you were down by a goal in the last 15 to 20 minutes of the game? I think one of the most important things is don't overstress the situation, right? I think how you deliver the message is just as important as what you say, because as a coach or a teammate, if it's really high stress and it's really frantic in the way that you say it, well, that's sort of emotion is going to be conveyed onto your teammates. If you're able to talk in a heavy collision, then we'll see a booking for LA Surf. Quick little pat to the chest saying, my bad, from Reese King. If you're able to deliver that message calmly that we're going to get our chances, but we're going to have to work to create it, and you're going to have to sort of motivate the crew around you and the group with you, that's how you'll get the best out of it, is making sure that the panic doesn't rise, so now that the thoughts become faster and you can't quite calibrate your brain when you need to the most, when the pressure's on the most. It's the same game, you just have a little less time to do it in. Right? Everything that you were trying to achieve in the first 15 minutes is still the same thing in the final 15 minutes. You're still trying to get a goal. This just means that there's a hard end time to it, that you've got to get it. But other than that, keep going, they'll come, and stay calm in the moment, make the right decision when the opportunity presents itself.
The battle sometimes is creating the chances that lead to the goal. Gomez, good ball into the middle again. Dealt with defensively. Sockers FC that time well organized. Can LA Surf turn this around? Still have just over 5 minutes. If it were to finish in a draw, that's how it would end today in this second showcase affair. But Sockers FC want to see this out and grab a victory. They will have to defend another corner here from Carlos Oliveras' side. Gomez again is going to take it to try and find a head, maybe even a boot inside of the penalty area. High archer, Ferd is close to it. Foul is going to go the other way here. Aguirre leaped highest for it. And in the end, it's a Sockers FC free kick.
Composure.
Recchi got out of trouble there. That's given back. LA Surf again could Try to create something fruitful here. It's a good run down this far side. They're queuing up in the middle. And it's going to roll out of play. Houston Dynamo and Indiana Fire Academy are next for us here in the showcase finale on the day in the under-17s. I'm certainly looking forward to that. It's been a great day of action so far here on Twitch and on YouTube. Gorecki committed there, nearly nudged past him. Zapata tried to find the back of the net. He was the last to touch it in the end.
Yeah, bravely sticks his head in as Gorecki's coming full speed ahead. He just puts his head in there to try to redirect it on target. Doesn't miss by much.
The teams that are getting ready for game 3. There's still some business to be done here in game number 2. Gorecki might be called upon again as it's into the mixer, I should say, via Gomez. Wonderful footwork. He's blocked inside of the penalty area. He might get a second bite at it. He won't give up on the play here, but in the end it's cleared just about. And the shot is deflected in. Gorecki corrals it with Zapata looming.
Gomez shows really good composure and some good creativity to try to get an open look when he's got 2 and 3 defenders around him. It's one of the most difficult moments to try to create just a half step of space to be able to get a shot off, and he was throwing 2 and 3 different looks out of it. Chicago Sockers collectively didn't bite, didn't dive in, didn't overcommit, concede a foul. Really good defending in the end.
LA Surf win a free kick here. Get closer to the 90th minute. Congo scored the first goal for Sockers FC. Early stages of the first half. It was a wonderful finish. Pitar Chancic added his second. Gomez scored from the penalty spot. The end of the first half, that's where we stand. LA Surf trying to find a way back to parity. Continue to press, but Sockers FC had that well covered. It was a bit of a misplaced pass, and LA Surf will reset things. All set back towards the penalty area. Gorecki has to be careful here. Lets it go out for a corner.
These are moments where delivery needs to be spot on. A little bit of pace, right amount of power and precision. Let it right at the top of the 6, and the timing of the runs have to meet it at its peak, at its apex, to be able to try to get up and over, head this on target. Towards the 90th minute, big moment in the match.
Rolling effort towards the back post. Header is somewhat central, too close to the goalkeeper. Again, Zapata was on him, trying to find any rebound opportunities.
Gorecki wants to go quick because he thought he could have found a 2-on-1, but he's got to go wider. The defender for LA was just in the middle of the two, splitting them, and Gorecki needs to try to play that wider to spring the attack.
Entered 4 minutes of injury time at the end of this. Sockers FC can seal it! Oh, and the chance goes wide. That could have been the moment to clinch it. And in the end, it was the substitute, Salaron, who just could not quite size it up. What a ball in behind to find him. And in the end, LA Surf lived to tell the tale, just about.
That's fantastic work from Mushu on the side, and just plays it across. And the problem is, Savion is just thinking about it too much. Don't miss it, don't miss it, instead of having the confidence That's what happens when you're not confident in that.
Oh, an overhead kick. Not quite getting off the ground there. And again, Sockers FC clear. We've had 1 minute of the minimum of 4 added on. Surf still pressing. That shot is blocked on the edge of the penalty area. Sockers FC trying to push their way out of it. Another block a bit further up the field. It's going to go Sockers FC's way on this near side, just in front of the LA Surf bench. Sockers FC see out these last 2 injury time minutes. LA Surf doing everything they can to try and find a leveler. They might get another chance here.
I think the better option would have been to play Zapata, who had a full sprint. The timing, if it's right, can be slipped in for either a shot or a square ball across. You get a delayed offside call. It was just a moment in which the wrong decision is made to take the shot. The defender was squared up and was going for the block of the shot instead of the ball being slipped into Zapata. You play Zapata and he can make the decision with depending what the weight of the ball through is. We'll go down to the sideline one last time as we have a little over a minute left. Rodney, your overall impressions and thoughts on today's match?
It was a very competitive match. I think both teams were doing their best to get the result. I think at times the sharpness and the concentration was not there, and I think that has a lot to do with the weather. To be honest with you, it is a little bit hot. Players tend to lose focus, lose concentration, and it's not an easy environment to really play. But I believe that both teams are putting in the shift, and you know, it's sometimes more than just the result, especially now that this is a showcase. This is really about highlighting individually what you can do, but more importantly, what you can bring to the team. And this is what coaches are looking for. They're not just looking for how well you can dribble, how hard you can shoot the ball, how many goals you can score. They're also looking at your body language, what do you do when you're faced with adversity? Are you a leader? Are you somebody that you can be relied upon? So these little details are things that you might not be able to see with the naked eye, but when you're recruiting, when you're doing scouting, these are details that you pick up on. So as a young player, it's important to make sure you're well-rounded and you're well aware that it is important to play until the whistle is over, until the game is over. And these details, they make a big difference in your career. So when you can develop better habits early on, that's going to be better for your success.
And that's how it finishes. LA Surf's late surge, not quite enough. Great win for Chicago Sockers FC as they take it by 2-1. All of the goals, Jamie, coming in the first half. Plenty of chances in the second half as well, and LA Surf might feel they're a little unlucky to not come away with at least a draw.
Yeah, I think LA Surf set themselves back with the way they started the match. If they would have gone into the beginning of this match with the same level of intensity and composure as they had after going down 2-0, I think this game would have looked drastically different. Instead, they set themselves back by going down those 2 goals. Look, in the showcase format, results aren't the most important thing. Performances individually and collectively amongst the group are. And I do think that the final 60 to 70 minutes were probably a better representation of what LAF Surf really are as a team. But I think Chicago Sockers showed real professionalism in the way they went about it today, getting the goals, playing in the advantage, making the field bigger from there, and then from then they hold on for the win.
Let's take a look at our Adidas player of the match from this one. In game number 2 of our triple header, our man of the match presented by Adidas. We go to Sockers FC for Peter Janjic, who scored the goal that ended up being the match-winning goal.
Well, it was such a good touch. In front of the defender, he gets lost between the 2 center backs, reaches out with the outstretched left leg, just knows he's got to get it up and over the onrushing goalkeeper Maiden. He gets the important goal to make it 2-0, and for his efforts, he's today's Adidas man of the match.
It ends up giving Sockers FC the victory in what has been another great game today in this under-17s showcase. Still more to come with Houston Dynamo taking on Indiana Fire Academy. Coming up next for Rodney Wallace, for Jamie Watson and our entire crew, I'm Sean St. Jacques saying so long from Frisco, Texas. Stick with us. One more game to come.
Games they need to know. They need to know that they have a good feel for the game. 1 minute. I think them to get the card, and they had a good idea of what they wanted to do. One way in the first 10 minutes, and then different way in the last.
Let's wrap up game number 2 today in this under-17 showcase. Sockers FC against